Hi, Sandy. Thanks for joining us. We're going to start with Jeff Metcalf from the Arizona Republic, followed by Alex Simon.
You haven't played Minnesota since the season opener, and they didn't have Collier then, and they didn't have Clarendon. So they seem to be playing their best maybe of the whole season right now. Can you just kind of evaluate, give us an evaluation of them and particularly what those other two players add?
Yeah, look, yeah. I mean, you're right. They're playing obviously much better than they did at the start of the year, and you knew that was going to happen. Obviously, they got some really good players here. I think the biggest thing for them, obviously Collier is a big difference. She's very versatile. She can play the 3 and the 4. She's strong. She's getting to the rim and does rebounding and does all the little things well. But I think they're actually, they're posting up way more. With Sylvia's been playing great, player of the week. All her points coming in the paint, and they're really looking for their post players. And I think Clarendon's been a really nice fit for him. She's a really good playmaker, smart. She wants to go right, but she still can get there. And they're playing well together. And she's a good passer to their post players as well too. So they're a dangerous team. So we have to be on our game tomorrow.
What have you seen from your team, after the game the other day? It seemed like it was a good confidence builder. Is that kind of what you've seen now in the last couple of days that's going to help you going forward?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, every game is a new challenge for us. It's a new opponent. They all play differently. But in the end, we just got to keep focusing on us. We had a kind of a lighter day yesterday, and that's always a little scary because when you come back, it's not always the prettiest first session back in practice. But, we're going to be locked in tomorrow. We know what, Minnesota, we have, great rivalry for so many years, and we know each other's team quite well at this stage. And it's more about who executes the best on the day. Can we control their inside presence? But also, defend the 3-point line with McBride and Dantas, and how can we, are we making shots down the other end? So, we got confidence. It's great having Diana back. She's a big, makes a lot of things a little easier. But we know, the next challenge. Now it's us about making sure we're putting 40 minutes together or as close to, because that's what you need to do to win.
Next up is Alex Simon with the next, followed by Danny Thompson.
Hi, Sandy. With Diana back, obviously, it's one game. You don't want to overlook it. Every game's going to matter. But was there anything about kind of the way that you felt your rotation and kind of how you were blending pieces together that maybe did anything stand out in particular about what implementing her back kind of did across the roster for you guys?
Well, when you get someone obviously as good as Diana Taurasi, I mean, it gives us another playmaker. Obviously that's another threat on the perimeter, which teams have to defend, because without her, obviously BG and Sky will get in a lot of traps, and they'll make our other players, be the scorers. We just get a little bit, we said if we can get 4 players in double figures, I think that's when we're at our best. And if we can get 5, that's even better. But like Diana, just another playmaker, and makes it easier. I think it was, the biggest adjustment is probably Sky, because she's gone from a dominant playmaker to someone off the ball now. So, we've got players that we can combine them. But I thought, first up, it wasn't, totally clean and spunky, so to speak. But we found a way to win. And I think it's going to get better and better with the more time we spend together. And we got to keep building that chemistry and making sure that we continue to get to where we need to be over these next few games going in the Olympic break.
And with these practices, and I'm sure even last week with all of the time you guys had to practice, it seems obviously everybody around the league has been practicing with their teams and everybody's banged up. I think I saw a report from Coach Tebow over in Washington that he's expecting the practice players, especially the male practice players, to be available again at the Olympic break. Is that something that you guys would think would be absolutely vital for you guys to be able to just have bodies with, especially with everybody, half the team at the Olympics come the Olympics?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, otherwise the 5 players left here, the poor things. I mean, what can you do? They won't be very excited. But look, we're during the Olympic break, we can start bringing back fully vaccinated practice players. And we're really excited about that. I think every coach in the league will say it just makes it easier. we don't have to go against each other all the time, and we can maybe, work more. Probably, times you can go a little harder. I mean, even though it might be longer, but they're getting their rest, but you're going against someone a little bit different. So I think that helps you grow as a team, because when you're going against each other, you kind of know what everyone's doing. And that's a little bit easier. So yeah, we're very thankful that practice players will be coming back, particularly my 5 players that will be here in the All-Star break. So
Next up is Danny Thompson with a 3-point conversion, followed by Ann Myers-Drysdale.
Sandy, Danny Thompson with the 3-point conversion. Great to see you as always. I know Sylvia Fowles is a different type of center. We all know how she is on the rebound again and blocking shots, but she leads the league in steals. When you have somebody who is that tall, that fast, athletic, and also taking the ball away, how does that change your team's kind of idea of how to attack the paint and the rim tomorrow night?
yeah, and we want to. I mean, we want to. Sylvia's obviously a great player. Have a ton of respect for her. She just competes. She's a great rebounder, but you see the scoring. I mean, they're really focused on getting her the ball, and she's doing, she's a power player. She finishes extremely well, close to the basket. And, but yeah, she impacts the game on the defensive end because of her rebounding. But yeah, that's a great stat in terms of that. She anticipates well. Look, I think when you start off a little bit slow, I mean, Coach Reeves is looking for your experienced players and demanding more of them. And that's what, obviously still, that shows her versatility. But look, we got to be smart, in terms of how we play. I mean, obviously Brittany Griner, we have Brittany Griner, so that will be a great head-to-head matchup, and it will go a long way to determine who wins the game, really, who gets that matchup.
And you mentioned the first game, Collier didn't play in the first game. How does that also change the way you scout Minnesota? Because, she's one of the more talented swing players in the league, and what does she bring to Minnesota's offense that's different when you game plan the first time around?
Well, she's always moving. She doesn't stop moving, and that always makes her hard to guard. So you can't lose sight of her. You want to try and limit all the points in the paint. She's a great player. She's going to score, but you've got to make them hard, for her. You can't let her just post up without any, getting bumped, and we got to put adequate pressure on her. And hopefully she's having a bad night, because she's an Olympian. Well, she's about to be an Olympian. She's a pretty good player. So, we've got to make sure we're locked in and execute the scout that we've put in place.
Next up is Ann Myers-Drysdale, and then we'll go back to Alex Simon for last few.
I love it. 2 days in a row.
Great to see you, Annie.
I know. Talk a little bit about Breezy's game the other night and what difference you've seen, or how she's coming along, and how important it is for her to be involved.
Well, it's extremely important for us, because otherwise, on offense, there's only 4 players have to defend. And Breezy's really, really capable in that end. She's still growing it, obviously. She does have a perimeter shot. Now it's just getting comfortable with her doing it. But, there was things she did well. I mean, obviously always areas that she could be better. But look, for us, defense and rebounding is what she does the best. And she's been up and down a little bit, to be quite honest, in this year. But I think the last few games in particular, she's getting back to where she was in the bubble at the end of the year. That's exactly what we need from her. Getting used to playing with BG again, because remember when she took off, it was when actually BG had left from the bubble. But she's she's so selfless. Sometimes she needs to be a little bit more selfish, but we're trying to, offensively, her running the floor. We saw that, Dinah threw it out to her, and she does all the little things well. So it's good for her getting her confidence back to where she was last year. And look, she just wants to win. So whatever we tell her to do, she's going to go out there and do it hard. And so I was very pleased. She's a great rebounder. She hasn't rebounded great all season long, but the last few games, she's where we need her to be. And her offensively, she's getting back to, just moving and finding those easy baskets, at the rim, which certainly help us.
And then just to follow up, with Diana back, she played 31 minutes the other night. And will you be able to use your bench a little bit more on the rotation, because you've had players that have started in her place with Cunningham and Walker, and Petty in that rotation as far as the point guard? Will you use the bench a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, I hope to. I always say that, don't I, Annie? I hope to, because they've done a good job and they've grown in those roles. And look, obviously against LA, we played a lot of zone, and not everyone knew the positions on the zone because Diana was back. She was taking the backside of it, and they were obviously very, very fast. So I went with probably the matchups in the last game, but I think everyone can get into play, definitely. And I think that's what we've got to kind of develop. And the final result, we're trying to win a game. But I think we've had so many different combinations when Diane is out, but at least we've actually experienced those combinations. So you've got a better understanding about what they can do. And, it comes down obviously matchups as well too. So I would expect all of them looking to play tomorrow. And, Diana was at 31 minutes. I mean, I think that's around 30. I think that's good. Diana would probably want to play 38, but keeping her around 30 is great. So keeping her, fresh, and she looked great in that first game back. I mean, she only got winded in the fourth quarter. That was about it.
Thank you. Good luck tomorrow night.
Next up is Alex Simon. We'll finish.
Thanks,
up with
Annie.
him.
Bye.
One second, guys.
Sorry, Alex. They opened the door and as if to say, I've spoken enough.
Well, I have actually two more things I was hoping to ask you quickly, if you don't mind staying for an extra second. With tomorrow's game being a Commissioner's Cup game, I don't know at this point kind of how much you feel as if you guys know about it. Obviously, actually with Vegas's win over Seattle, you guys still control your own destiny. But does that kind of, now that you're in the middle of it, has that kind of impacted anything for you guys?
Oh, might be having some technical difficulties. I think we're having some Wi-Fi problems, so let's just hold up a second till we get this figured out.
I think we're good now.
Okay.
Sorry, Alex, bit technical difficulties. Oh, I was muted.
Should be good now.
Okay.
No, it was me that was muted this time. No worries there. Yeah, just two quick ones. The first being, at this point, now that you're in the middle of it with the Commissioner's Cup games, have you guys kind of approached them? I'm sure you as a coach haven't approached them pretty much differently at all, but do you kind of feel like the players have started to approach them any differently at this point?
Don't think so. I really don't know, quite honest. Don't think so though. I think like our approach is to be better every game. There's some games we let slip away. So when you're in the middle, you're a 7-7 team, it's more like, okay, every game is really, really important. We've got to put our best foot forward. I hope we win them all and then see what happens. But I just think they're just focused on that one game at a time.
That's kind of what I suspected. And my last question, I had seen a report from when you announced the Opals roster that you were going to have, like, I think you said 19 days that you guys were going to have camp. And I guess I was doing the math, and then I saw something from Coach Tebow that he was expecting Leilani to leave the Mystics a little early to join your guys' camp. And I was just wondering, is your report date, I guess, going to cause any issues kind of with that last weekend and the 2 games against the Storm?
No, I'm the head coach, so I'm seeing out this. I'll see out the season. I'll fly straight from Seattle to Vegas. I have to quarantine for 1 day, and then we'll get into our program there. But the team, the Australian-based players actually arrive on July the 5th, and then I think 2 players are arriving on July the 6th, and they only miss 1 game, and then 2 others are on the 7th because we're playing Vegas. I couldn't actually ask Liz Cambage to not play when they're actually playing my team. So I thought that was a little professional integrity that I'll allow for that. Obviously, even my husband who's on my staff will be there on July the 5th too. So it's just me that will be there, but we don't have much time to prepare. And I think, I was trying to be really fair to all teams, and no one misses more than 2 games. And it is what it is. It's the Olympic Games, and this is our only preparation we have until we get to Tokyo.
Thank you for the time, Sandy.
Thanks, guys.